I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh, tell me why.
Well, I've had a hilariously weird kind of, not bad weekend, but just one of those where just shit keeps happening to you.
You're fucking exhausted,
you know?
aren't you?
And it's just that point where it's hit the wall and it's come full circle. I don't even care anymore. I'm just like, I'm so happy to be alive.
It's that, it's like that hysteria phase, you know, when
Yeah.
you just almost like hysterically laugh at just,
It's become cosmically funny.
Yes.
And when something becomes cosmically funny, it is no longer personally offensive.
I always think, you know that scene with Tom Hanks in the Money Pit? Have you ever seen the Money Pit?
No.
Oh my God. It's, okay, so
But I love Tom Hanks.
I love it, and it's like in the 80s, dude. Like, and he was all like young with his like silly pompadour.
He looks like a puppy.
He did. He looked like a little boy. And so anyway, it's this movie. It's called The Money Pit, and they buy this beautiful home, and it's a lemon. It's just a money pit, man. And so like they go through so much hell, and like shit's breaking, and so he spent like hours oven heating up hot water and pouring it into a bath, and on the second story, and like he's been carrying the buckets up. And he pours the last one in, and the tub falls through the floor and shatters like all the way down. And it's like for 5 minutes, it's like him hysterically laughing. And like, I mean, like he's like looking down the hole and like hands to knees, just like from his gut laughing. And that's always, I've been there. Like I know what that feels like.
And it's not even bad. It's just like, I realized none of these little inconveniences this weekend have mattered. Nothing matters. Nothing's like long lasting, you know, like, and we even had really good shit happen to us this weekend. Yeah. It's just one of those things where like, if it's Murphy's Law, if one little thing can happen to piss you off, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen in spades.
And now it's at a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make the most of this upcoming week. It's if the universe,
how could it get worse?
It was trying to piss me off, it completely missed the mark.
Nice.
Maybe I'm cursing it. How are you?
I'm doing pretty swell. I'm
swollen.
I'm swole.
Swole.
Yeah, got them gains with a Z. But no, I'm really good. I had a good week last week. I've had a good weekend. Very good weekend. I had a bitchin' meditation this morning.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
But Yoxin has returned.
It's like on a show when like a beloved character returns and it gets a big applause.
Yeah, it's weird, you know, and I was thinking about that afterward, and I was just like, he's this weird reoccurring character in my life, and it's almost like in like I know it's just, it makes me question. It's like, how much am I expecting him to show up and how much of it? But the thing is that it's not just that he shows up every time. The shit that happens is wacky.
Right.
Man, it's not like I can plan this out because it's bizarre every single time. Mm-hmm. And today was the strongest. And you know why? Guess what I inhaled a whole bunch of before I did it? That black motherfucking sage.
Nice.
That black sage led to a crazy meditation, as it's supposed to do. This is the first time I've used it.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. It was really cool. And it was, I did the guided one again. I haven't, I've been trying to train myself to not need them, but I still need them. Yeah. You know, like every now and again I can get lucky and do it without it, but you know, I'm not there yet.
Well, it's also nice to kind of return to that every once in a while.
It is.
It's like a break.
Exactly. And it's, I've kind of built the world up a little bit, you know, and it's really, it's neat. It's like my own little mind world.
That's
you know?
nice. It's like a mind palace.
It is.
You've decorated it.
I love it.
You like to come back to it once and again.
Yeah. And like, I today with the sage, like, and this sounds weird, like, but I was able to notice finer details in the world. Certain things, like, you know, there's hand railings with, like, embedded stones, and at one point, like, this gold bridge materializes, and I was, like, looking at what the fibers formed, and it was, like, these almost Victorian, like, forest scenes, and, like, it was really beautiful, you know, and, like, I saw that, you know, and...
You know how I take that? I take that as you were able to not have so much of your consciousness focused in on the bigger details. Yeah. You were able to kind of look past those and absorb it easily. So you had the mental power to like look around and notice
it was
things.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't have the noise of me, you know.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I'm here. I can relax a little.
It was cool.
Notice these things.
And so I finally, you know, there's like in a lot of these things, there's a lot of ups and downs. Go through these doors, the store, you know, to kind of help get you in a state. So I finally get to the weird prehistoric looking garden thing that I always meet Yoxin in. He shows up. We walk, and, you know, there's always, like, weird platforms and shit. You know, like I told you about the weird flat, smooth tree surface thing, you know, and so it's really high, reedy grass, like almost like African savanna.
Right.
And we're walking through it, and then we come across this, and it's huge. It's probably like the size, it's maybe like 20 by 20, but it's a circle. And covered in it. And it almost is like reminiscent of a crystal grid, you know, but like chaotic. So the design is just like almost like these deep scratches, but they're not really in a pattern. It's just weird.
No rhyme or reason.
No, it was really bizarre, and they were all in there. And so he has me, like, we stand on this platform together. He lowers his horns, like, and touches them to the surface of the concrete, or whatever the fuck. It's not concrete, but like on the quickcrete that they poured earlier that afternoon. No.
Straight out the bag.
I'm pretty,
oh, no.
Anyway.
We can't get 5 minutes in without it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, no, not concrete. Probably ancient stone. I don't know. Whatever it is. It's very conductive of whatever's in his horns, though, because, like, shit gets crazy. So I'm standing on it, and he touches his horns to the rock. But what I was visualizing, and this sounds so violent, but it wasn't. Like, I kind of lifted up a little bit, and it's like the weird gashes on the rock started like spinning and moving and going crazy and like lifting up, and they were black and crazy. It was just really bizarre. And in all of that movement, they were like stripping away my physical body. But not in a painful way. It was just like...
It's not like putting you in a blender.
It was like they were opening it up.
Yeah.
And so like... And it was like I was like split down the middle, and it opened up. And I was just like pure energy on all of like my energy centers. Like all of my chakras. You know? And it was just like... It was crazy. Like this was bananas. I mean, it was just like... And if you've done a chakra meditation that works, how it feels... It's like all of them were just going nuts. And like I came out of it just like, holy shit. So everybody get some black sage, man. Like, and I did it in the bath. Yeah, so those are always kind of where my really intense ones are. And I mean, like I just lit it up, and it was right behind my head, smoking, and the window is open, so it was pulling the smoke through like that through me through that direction. Really, most of my big revelations happened when I started doing it in the bath.
Right. So I guess that's part of it. Find a place where you're really comfortable.
Whatever does it for you. Yeah.
I think it might just be out under my tree. I've had the best experiences there.
It's great. The only other place that I've ever really been able to meditate other than in there is by the mother tree.
Yeah. We've got to get a picture of her up. So what are we talking about today? I know what I'm talking about today.
Well, I think you should tell me.
Don't you like how I asked, but immediately just...
Yeah.
It's coming out of me. It's hot, and it's a very deep and touchy subject right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be talking about inclusivity and gatekeeping, as it were, in the witchy community.
I saw a lot of ugly.
There's been a lot of ugly out there recently.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
For one of the first times, I have been a little bit ashamed.
I was embarrassed. It's exactly how I felt. I was embarrassed.
A lot of this, not all of it, because this attitude has been rampant. It seems like it's just getting worse. The more popular spiritualism and occult and witchcraft and stuff like that starts to become and more accepted, there's this attitude. And but what really set it off for me was those witchy kits that came out.
The starter kits.
The starter kits from the big box beauty retailer out there.
Yeah.
And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I want to say up front that I'm not going to be talking about the really important and deep issues of like cultural and spiritual appropriation. And I'm not necessarily going to be talking about the improper sourcing of the materials. Yeah. Because those are so deep and so important and so valid that needs, I say this a lot, that needs to be its own episode.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is a lot of the attitudes towards what it represented came out this week. Yeah. We usually take turns on who goes first, who goes second. I'm going to go first this time because I feel like my topic could get a little ugly, could get a little hairy.
Yeah, I think we both have strong opinions.
We got some opinions about it. And then Macy actually has a really cool...
Yeah, we're going to end on a warm...
We want to end on a positive note.
A very warm, powerful, very feminine power note.
Right.
I'm very excited about it. So we'll round it out with I'm treating it almost like a bedtime story. Like, really.
That's actually lovely because it's 9:30 at night here.
Yeah.
And I want one. And I'm going to want one here in about 30 minutes.
Well, and I'll be excited to read it out of my big book.
And you've done so much research. You've got so much stuff going on. I haven't heard her story. I don't know who she's talking about.
I couldn't stop. Like, really, I just really love this character. So I'll be talking about a witch in history.
I love how much history stuff we've been doing lately.
It feels good.
I really, really love it. I'm a big history nerd.
It's so fun to research. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
so no, I woke up at like 5:30 one morning. And I always do my research that early in the morning, and I just had a blast. Like, I just loved it.
It's easier to, like, put yourself in their mindset.
Yeah.
And kind of think, like, what would they feel in the situation?
Well, and the thing is there's not many witch stories that aren't absolutely gut-wrenchingly terrible.
Exactly.
And this one is very interesting.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Like I said, I haven't heard a lick of this, so I'm going to be hearing it with you guys. And with that said, I need to take a breath. I'm at the point. Macy's giving me some pointers to keep very level because I get hot about this topic. And we did actually. I believe it was cut from the episode, but when we had our 4.5 episode with Miss Ashley and the Witchy Bazaar,
we talked
about this, and we got so loud.
Yeah.
So if you've been paying attention. And it's been all over social medias and everything like that. And if you don't already know what I'm talking about, good. I mean, save yourself.
Really just turn off this episode. Like, enjoy the ignorance of that situation.
Half of that's true, honestly. The other half brings up a lot of good points. I've seen so much this past, what has it been, a week, 2 weeks or so?
Yeah, give or take.
By the time this comes out, it'll definitely be 2 weeks. I've seen a lot about stuff I didn't know before, about how you really do have to be careful about where you source your materials from, you know? And I talked a little bit about that in our sandalwood, when I talked about sandalwood. Yeah. And that really bothered me.
Yeah, it did me too. It's going away.
It's going away, and there's danger there, and it really made me want to think about where we get this stuff from and look into it and help protect it, and what can I do, you know, to not just blindly... And I don't think many of us out there are doing it on purpose. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of us, once you hear, hey, this is watch where you're getting your stuff. We're not going to be like, fuck you, I'm going to get it from fucking Walmart. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're going to do our part. At least I would like to think so. So the big beauty store put out a witchy kit, right? Because we cannot deny that witchiness, spiritualness, whatever, it is really, really popular.
Yeah.
And it is growing in popularity.
Yeah.
I don't even really know so much what that is about. I, in part, like to give credit to American Horror Story, the second season, or the third season. Coven. Because I think it really did. I think it kind of shoved it out to the forefront of what people are looking at. And another thing is people are more free to express this part of them.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I do. Well, and the thing is that... And this is, I'm going to touch on, like, this is something that I wanted to mention when you said that when you were bringing this up. Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite things to look into is generational studies. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating. I love it so much. And so you right now have the coming of age of Gen Z, which is the generation below you and I. Mm-hmm. And millennials are really coming into their own, you know? And so these are two generations that are just really different. Right. And how thoughts are processed and things are experimented with. And so you have the millennials coming into their own and having money to spend, and you have Generation Z getting old enough and smart enough and like kind of working, and, you know, like they're getting there to be interested in this. So I think a lot of it is, you know, popularity of just like publicity and things. Yeah. But I also think you have a wider segment of open-minded individuals to look into this.
Exactly.
And that's why I had a problem with what I saw. Yeah. Because essentially what happened here, and I'm coming at this from a marketer's perspective, so I understand that this might sound a little commercial. Generation Z is really important, and so I feel like nobody focuses on them right now because everybody's still always focused on us, the millennials. Yeah. You know, still it's always millennials are fucking up everything. Right, or millennial. Right. It's always our fault, first of all.
And millennials has become kind of a catch-all term.
It is. And so people think that the kids right now that are coming into high school are millennials. They're not. They're Generation Z. Mm-hmm. And so Generation Z is different from millennials. Mm-hmm. So a big chunk of the millennial generation, I don't want to say lived through, but like grew up in...
Suffered through.
Developed in the Great Recession that just happened, and it kind of... We, had the very formative event of 9/11.
Yep.
So we're a bit of as a whole, cynical generation. It's just a different deal. And so that kind of made an anti-establishment attitude. Gen Z has kind of come up under that. And they didn't live through those things. So they're actually super optimistic, technologically savvy. They've grown up in a better economy, or, they are now. Money's a bit more fluid. And they've also grown up with the instant gratification of technology. Order something, it shows up. Do this. And so this kit was tailor-made for Gen Z.
Oh, yeah.
Tailor-made for them. And it would have been huge. Because if nothing else, it would have led them on their own searches.
Right.
I saw some comments saying, I hope you fucking hex yourself with this stuff. And it's just what the fuck is wrong with you? And so it's the first time that they might try to be getting into this, it's met with that.
And that's what my main point is. To me, the kits were almost happenstance. They're almost not, my first visceral reaction was not from a place that a lot of people's reaction was. A lot of people's reaction was, you're commercializing this. You're commercializing this and you're spiritual appropriation. You're commercializing it. You're appropriating it. It's such a double-sided coin for me. Because on one hand, I want to say, yeah, it commercialized it. But there are these young people who maybe they wouldn't have been shown this. They wouldn't have had this come into their lives in any other way. And maybe they're just being drug around the fucking makeup store by their mom who doesn't let them be themselves.
Yeah.
And they come across this kit and they're like, what is this? I like this.
Yeah.
And, whatever. I understand the issue of, you should really probably know what you're doing with these tools. I don't know much about the kits. I don't know if they planned to include some kind of literature about what they were including.
I don't know. I assume so.
I would hope so. But something somebody said made a lot of sense to me. They said, when they put this together, the company who put this together, they said they clearly didn't have a witch in the room.
Oh, no.
And that's what bothers me. The reason it was pulled and the reason that they could not confidently say, look, we believe in this, we stand behind it, and okay, look, we're sorry, we didn't take we didn't get it from the proper place, we didn't source it correctly, but we think that this is going to actually help to educate, or we think that somebody's going to get some beneficial use. They couldn't say that, because I do think that on that company's end, I do think that their end goal was money.
Duh.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's
yeah.
absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what business is.
Yeah, I mean, any market metric is going to show that it's a trendy topic.
You know, and what I kind of have an issue with is just taking something that's trendy and putting it out there. The reason you couldn't say that we made this in a way to help educate people, or in a way that might actually help somebody, is because they didn't do that. They didn't do the research, essentially. They didn't have the witch in the room. If I'm going to make somebody who doesn't know anything about golf, if I'm going to make a golf starter kit, I'm going to have a fucking golfer there to tell me what the words mean and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that clearly, and that's what made me upset. And since then, I want to say, I wish I had some of the names on me. All of them were very limited edition, so they'll probably be gone by the time this airs, but I encourage you to go out and look on Instagram, and there was some on Tumblr and even on Etsy. A lot of people have come forth with their own holistic stores and stuff. They've sourced and put together these witchy kits.
Well, yeah.
So if you were interested in the starter kit, and you're hearing this and you're kind of like, okay, maybe it wasn't the greatest, but look, it was a starter kit and I could have at least, seek these people out, because in light of this, people have put some amazing shit together. It's so weird because it's not going to be on a bigger scale.
See, it's
not going to reach as many people.
That's my final argument to this, is that the thing is that, and we grew up in the Bible Belt. Okay. And so a lot of these things are evil.
Yeah.
And this kit
could have introduced somebody who now will never know this.
Will never know. It could have been that one thing.
Yeah. And I agree with you that I wish that this was put together in a more mindful way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like if this were a beginner, I don't know, a beginner Christian or a beginner Muslim kit or something like that, and you know, there were very obvious, maybe even sacrilegious aspects to it, I could see where it would cause similar uproar. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I get that. And as I've stated, and I'm going to state it again just in case, you know, for those in the back, I am not talking about those deep problems associated with appropriation and, you know, racial appropriation and like all the stuff about like where to get your shit from. That's a different episode. What I want to dive into now is this attitude of, we call it gatekeeping. Yeah. Okay. So if you're unaware of what gatekeeping is, it's that situation where you say, Mace, I heard you're really into hip hop. You think you're into hip hop? Name Eminem's top 3 songs. Yeah. Do it now. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that thing of like, oh, you think you like something? Prove it. Yeah. And, I'm in the camp of you don't have to prove dick to anybody ever. That being said, there was some really upsetting stuff out there, and there has been for a long time. And usually scrolling through, because it's always social media.
Especially, it's a toxic fucking place.
You know, you go through, and some of it's kind of lighthearted to almost even funny, you know, in a way that you're like, ooh, maybe this shouldn't be funny, but like, like the one with the Ugg boots and the pumpkin spice lattes, and they're like, oh, it's time for all the basic witches to come out. You know what I mean? It's that general attitude. Yeah. I just don't think anyone has the right to tell someone else how to be a witch.
Exactly.
I don't think anybody has that kind of pull and that kind of sway, because there's ways to be a witch all over the world. And if you think that somebody is doing it insincerely, or if you think that they're doing it without the proper knowledge, or if you think that, oh my God, look what they're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong, and you're really concerned. Yeah. Instead of chastising this person, instead of being hateful and making stupid fucking memes about it, how about you contact them and you say, hey, listen here, I noticed you were doing this thing in this way. I know you're kind of new to this. Would you like me to help you with this? And the thing is that what makes me so sad is I know the answer to that is a lot of people don't want newcomers. Yeah. They don't want to share this thing.
There's a general attitude too, because I mean, I know that you know the term New Age, you know, and so a lot of this, you know, love and light and, you know, all of this new, young, basic bitch shit falls under New Age. Well, the thing is that people who are practicing New Age stuff are still feeling the same spirit that you feel. And you can't, I mean, it's just like musicians, okay? You can have a guitarist that plays with sheet music and a guitarist who learned and doesn't read that but knows it by ear. Yeah. They're both fucking musicians. Yeah.
You can't tell me that this person who reads music is any better than the person who is just laying it down, you know, over there.
And when, like, the thing is I'm a agnostic pagan. Yeah. I really, you know, and I read about them and I research them, but I can't say with, you know, absolute, like, confidence that I believe in a lot of these entities. Right. But I know that I've talked to something. Right. And I've felt it and I've communicated with it. So, you know, it just kills me.
To me, it's like, I really try to have an attitude of, I don't know. Yeah. And that doesn't make you ignorant. Sometimes it does. You can say, I'm ignorant to this situation, but it doesn't make you an ignorant person. Yeah. So when they're scrolling through and they see this thing, they see this little meme on Instagram that says, somebody was rolling their eyes and it says, when you see the basic girl from school say she's a witch, you know, and they're rolling their eyes at that. It's like, I just, it hurts my feelings because, being very new to this, you and I, we fuck up a lot.
Oh, constantly.
You know what I mean? And I'm waiting for the day for somebody to write us and say, that thing you said was wrong, or that thing you said personally offended me, or that thing you said was culturally insensitive. And it is never our intention to do so.
It's about to, probably.
You know what? We're probably going to get some letters about this. But you know, if it's kind of like if you went to the lake and you saw a group of fishermen and they're pros and they're doing their thing. And some little newbie walks up with their little sandwich pail and their stick with a line on it, you know, and they sit down and they're having the time of their life and they're just fishing. And then you watch this like group of people just just obliterate this little guy, and just, you're doing this wrong. How could you not be using a such and such thing? And how could you not be doing it in this way? And you don't realize when you're doing these things that you're hurting somebody who is coming from a place of, oh my God, they found it. They found this thing that makes sense to them. Yeah. And we just recently had that awakening or whatever, and we haven't figured it out yet. But if other people are feeling what I felt, and then to be called basic. Yeah.
Because you don't do everything exactly by the book and exactly how you're supposed to. And you didn't have someone teach you over generations. You didn't have somebody bring you up with this, And do I think that people who are into this stuff, do I think they need to reach out on their own and try to take some level of self-responsibility and look into it? Yes, absolutely. That's with everything. Yeah. If you think you might like fishing, get a book about fishing, Same with this stuff. However, it's hard. It's hard. And we've talked about, we really invite everybody to come together. And if you have questions, ask us. We don't know the answers, but we could maybe say it on air and one of you might know and you could write it. We can all help each other learn. And with that, I actually have a little quote from my book and I'm going to have to read it. Oh, I want to hear it.
So, all right. So, Raven Grimassi in his book, Spirit of the Witch. Ooh. Mm-hmm. He said something to me that, he said it to me.
Directly to your face.
It says, Charlye, read this part on your podcast. From Raven Grimassi in his book, Spirit of the Witch, he says, the differences we find in the rituals that exist in different cultures lie in the way that things are done and not in the reason. And just to stop early, I read that and I was like, this is exactly what's going on right now. Yeah. This is exactly what's going on right now. He says, the beliefs we find differ little as well, bearing different labels and descriptions for essentially the same primary and basic tenets. Mm-hmm. That's why we have 15 different goddess names from different cultures for, this is the goddess of love, this is the god of war, you know what I mean? Same idea, but it's just come up through time differently. Mm-hmm. Despite this, the need seems to exist among humans to not only create different religions, but also to create different denominations within a specific religion. As a species, we seem to expend a great deal of energy focused on what separates us from one another, rather than what unites us. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could have read that at a more appropriate time. Yeah. He says, some witches prefer to remain within the purity of their own tradition and do not explore the truths, and I like that, the truths, residing in other systems. And then he says, that's perhaps missing an opportunity to expand and enrich their own current beliefs and practices.
Yeah, I like that.
That whole little part to me was everything that's been happening. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie here. The reason that I'm so personally offended by the basic witch thing is because I am one.
Oh, yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a 30-year-old white female from a middle-class background. Yeah. I'm getting into spiritualism. Yeah. When everyone else is getting into spiritualism.
Please don't give me the fucking stiff arm.
Right.
And
I can't say, no, I don't know as much as you if this is how you've come up and you've read all the books, and some of the things I might say might be like, oh, that's like somebody out there might know, like, oh, that's the thing that circulates online, but I know it's not true because it was taken out of context from a book written back in such and such. You know what I mean? You might have that background info, and I'm just working with what I have. Yeah. It's hard to break into. Yeah. It's hard to break into. And I guess that's really all I have to say about it. But
I have one last thing, and I want to close your segment.
You might give me more to say because I feel like there's so much more that I had.
And so I realized that really I'm like the very big minority of thinking that this thing should not have been discontinued. Mm. And I'm sure I'm going to get at least some clap back for that. Right. I'm sure.
Well, I would like to say that neither of us are going to sit here and say culturally appropriate to your heart's content.
See, that's the thing. Was it perfect? Fuck no. No. Absolutely not. It was not. There were things that you could tell that they covered all the tropes. Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I think that that's true. Right. But at the end of the day, and a lot of, traditional pagan type writings say that any soul that comes to walk with the goddess is a win, you know, and I know that, you know, it wasn't perfect, and I understand that it was kind of a slap in the face, you know. I hope that it does pave a trail to a responsibly done, easily accessible one.
Yeah.
Because I think that could be the gateway for a lot of people who would otherwise have to hide it under their bed or hide it in their closet. You know, having it out in the, it's hiding in plain sight. Yeah. You know, and so, that's it. That's like my final, that's my final piece. Like, don't fucking witch hunt me, you know?
And I'm to piggyback off you, and I'm just gonna actually close here.
Good. I would prefer you close it, because otherwise I feel like a dick.
You gave me a good little closing thing here is, Macy and I were texting, and we were like, so what do you think you're going to talk about next? And, well, we generally have an idea of what we're going to be doing in the weeks upcoming. We did have a little weird space for this episode, and I said, I think I'm going to talk about this gatekeeping mentality, you know, and I said, I kind of want to touch on those kits a little bit, you know, and she said, good, because I have thoughts. And I said, I have thoughts too. We didn't go into those thoughts.
No, at all. We've kind of purposely, like, kept those
and what I think is interesting is I think we have kind of differing opinions on
We do.
it. You know what I mean? Again, I think the bigger issues we completely agree on.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the issue of whether or not it should have been taken off the
final
shelves,
decision.
You know what I mean? I'm still in the camp of, I think that was a good idea, but I'm really glad to have heard your side on it, because I, to be honest with you, I wasn't thinking of it in that way.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking of it in the way that it could reach people.
Yeah.
And what I have to hope is I have to hope that in this shit storm of a badly executed product.
Yes.
I have to hope that it caused enough hoopla that somebody out there looked into it, was excited about it, didn't understand why, you know, so not only can they now seek out these better kits that people are putting together with more care and, you know, better sourced and with just more information, they're also going to have the information of why the other one was a shit show. And I think that's a good starting point. And it may not reach as many people. I have to be happy. And also, I don't like when people market things without having information behind it.
I know that.
Like, do your fucking research.
Well, I mean, nobody fucking does that, you know? I mean, the thing is that my biggest worry is the people who it left a bad taste in their mouth. Yeah. And I'm not talking about the people who aren't a fan of the product. I'm talking about the people who were and were excited about it, and now they can't experiment with that because a bunch of witches wouldn't let it happen. And so now they're like, you know, this is a closed fucking club. Yeah. I thought it was going to be different.
Yeah. That maybe somebody out there who's younger or maybe they're not younger, maybe they're older and this is the first time they have to, you know, that they see like, maybe this isn't as inclusive as they like to say they are. Yeah. And my thing is, if we're all going to sit around and if we're all going to say, hey, we're inclusive people and we love to include people, you know, we want to include everybody's race and we want to be very open to cultural things and we want to talk to all the LGBTs and everything like that. You know what I mean? You can't say one thing and then act in another way. Yeah. And I hate to say the word meme again because it makes me sound like such a 30-year-old, but I've gotten to where I have completely stayed off of almost all the social platforms because I cannot see one more hateful thing. And the thing is, the memes that I've seen against, like, the products itself, like that meme that's like, ooh, I stepped in shit, and you look at the bottom of your foot, and it's a picture of the witch kit. Like, I kind of giggle, you know what I mean? But when it comes to, it's been canceled, so we don't have to worry about the basic witches coming, or...
Yeah, so then you're just being a fucking dick.
Then it's like, I feel like you're missing the point. I feel like you're missing the point, and it makes me sad, and it hurts my feelings.
See, I have a degree in marketing, and I've worked in marketing for 3 years now. Like, I see the world, I can't help it, through a marketer's lens. That's just what I do. Right. And I think the reason that I feel the way I do is because of that lens that I have. Because to me, this was one big fucking marketing disaster for paganism and spiritualism. Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
And I know that might make me sound like a shill or whatever the fucking word is now.
But no, you're absolutely right.
But that's the thing. And so like that, I guess that's the summary.
Yeah.
Is that as a marketer and as someone who like, understands how publicity and first impressions, the psychology behind a first impression will make you sick to your stomach.
Right.
Because I know that so many first impressions came out of this and they were bad. The span of time for a first impression is less than 3 seconds.
I was going to say, isn't it like a fraction?
It's so short. And I want to say the average attention span right now for things like that is about 5 seconds. And it's gone down. Right. And so think about that. They have enough time to scan, see like, okay, it was coming. Bunch of backlash, a bunch of people threw a fit, now nobody can have it, yada, yada, yada. Right. That's it. Yeah. They're not going to dive in as to why.
And a lot of people who are just going to jump to conclusions, they're not jumping to a good conclusion. No. They're not, their conclusion they jump to is not going to be like, oh, they did this very irresponsibly and the witch community came together and said, hey, you should think about the way you're doing this. Yeah. No, the way they're going to see that is something completely different. Which is, it is what it is. But to close my segment finally, to boil it down, I was talking to my husband about this, who knows, he doesn't know Sephora or makeup or witch kits or anything. But I was talking to him about it and about the attitude and how people are kind of shutting others out. And he said, I said, I wish I had a really cute, punchy way to sum up my thoughts on this. I said, educate. I wish we would educate each other instead of just putting each other down. Educate, and I kept repeating it. And he looks at me and he goes, educate, don't discriminate.
He's such a cutie pie.
And I was like, yes.
Oh, little Clarky.
Using my husband's terminology, I want to kind of put out a formal call to action out there to educate and not discriminate. Yeah. If you see somebody appropriating in any way, if you see somebody doing something that you think that maybe they're not knowledgeable about and they could harm themselves spiritually, please make an effort to educate and not discriminate. Don't be dicks to each other.
Well, cool. That was interesting. That was our first, because in the first episode we said that we will disagree, at some point. That was the first time, that was our first, which they're not that different, but that's our first different perspective, I guess, which it was interesting.
I was grateful to have it because like I said, when I first saw these kits and I first saw the uproar behind it, I wasn't seeing all that deeper stuff about the sage and about how, don't just take Native American traditions and make it your own, because we kind of have a history of doing that around this country.
And yes, I understand that.
And I didn't see all that, but what I did see was that piss shit attitude of everyone's stupid but me. You know what I mean? And the more I learned about it, the more I did learn about the deeper issues. I mean, it like blew my little fucking head off. So like talking to you and having that other opinion was really nice. Look how nice this is, guys. We don't completely agree on the topic, but we don't have to fucking call each other stupid.
We had a very sensible, actually very fun, because I learned things from you I didn't know. I didn't know about, some of the...
Witch's brew?
What? I fucking love me some witch's brew.
Sorry.
Getting high.
Get your witch high.
No, I didn't know about, some of the sourcing things and whatnot. Of really honestly touching back into that attention span. Right. I knew, I followed it. I followed the story and saw enough comments to make me want to throw my phone in a lake.
Well, see, that's the thing. You see, if somebody does see all these comments,
and I see that
you may not want to look at it anymore, missing out on the bigger picture.
And that's the thing. That happened to me involved in this community. Yeah. So imagine what it was like for someone who was just trying to dip their toe in it for the first time. Mm-hmm. It's just immediately you're like, no, never mind. Yeah.
Or for an older witch who has been at this game for a long time and they've gone through some real divisive shit. Yeah. And then to think, hey, look, we're back at a point where people can say this is what they are and this is great. And then to see people at each other's throats again must be like, oh, well, what the fuck has the last 30 years been?
So frustrating. Yeah. That's an interesting point. But yeah, do you want to hear a story?
Please tell me a nice story.
I'm not going to tell you yet because I'm going to get some chocolate. Do you want some?
I wasn't
I'm really Mother Goosey about this.
Oh my god, this is the best. If you've made it this far in the podcast, Macy has left to get snacks. We've snuggled in.
Yeah, for a good old story. This woman's a hellcat. I like her. So anyway, her name is Mother Shipton. So this is a back in the day story. We're going like medieval times here.
Nice.
Yeah. So she was born Ursula Southiel. Her story starts off really sad. So, which I guess her story was always kind of sad, but she was kind of a bad bitch, so it works out. So she was the daughter of a girl named Agatha. I couldn't find a last name. Unfortunately, she was an unmarried 15-year-old girl.
Okay.
At the time. And she would not reveal who the father was. Mm. So she had no parents to support her, so the town pretty much kicked her out. Just said, get out. So Agatha, this really badass of a young girl, finds this cave to take shelter in. It's on the banks of the River Nid. Oh, by the way, this is England. So they found this cave on the banks of the River Nid on the outskirts of Knarlsborough.
Gnarly, bro.
On this terribly stormy night, which is lovely, fits the scene, Agatha actually gave birth to Ursula alone in the cave. At 15.
I was assuming she had already had her baby, and then they kicked her out.
No, she was
They
alone,
kicked out
pregnant.
a pregnant girl.
15-year-old girl.
To squat in a cave?
Yeah. And so she had her alone in the cave. So this character, the Abbot of Beverley, took an interest in Ursula. Anyway, he found a family to take her in. However, poor Agatha, she was sent to a convent. So and she actually died a couple years later. So she had it pretty rough. So she was, Ursula was placed with a local family. So she was really deformed.
Oh.
Yeah, in your classic witch ways.
Oh.
Which was really interesting. So even as a small child, she had a very, very large crooked nose. Her legs were very bowed and twisted. She had to walk with a stick, with a cane, like a walking stick. Her back was very crooked. I assume likely scoliosis, So yeah, this little girl with a huge witchy nose, a crooked back, leaned over with a cane and crooked legs.
I love her.
Yeah. And so she was really smart. She wasn't, mentally handicapped in any way. She was very bright, and her teachers were always really surprised by how smart she was, but she was only able to be in school for a short while because kids are horrible.
Oh, yeah.
But people noticed some strange things about Ursula. For instance, certain kids that were fucking with her or things like that would be pushed to the ground with no one to shove them. Or they would have their hair yanked and no one was there.
Right.
So strange things were happening to, around her.
Right.
Ursula seemed to have this weird something about her. Well, at the age that she was old enough to do so, 22, 23, she says, fuck you to the town. And she moved back to the cave where she was born.
What?
Yeah. And she said, she preferred the wilderness over the town life. And so she moves back. At the age of 24, she married a carpenter named Thomas Shipton. That's where Mother Shipton comes from. Unfortunately, he only died 2 years later.
Oh.
And many locals say that she bewitched him because she was so ugly no one could possibly fall in love with her.
Gosh.
Yeah, they just wouldn't stop. It's like she left. Why are you still being
horrible
mean?
People?
And she never had children. The name Mother comes from because she was at one point the oldest person. So she lives a long life.
So she outpaced and outlived them.
Yeah, and she didn't get killed in the witch hunts. That's what this story was so interesting, is because this is a full life of a witch. Not one that was cut short.
Not one that ends at the age of 25.
Yes. And so she had no children, and then her husband died. So she made her living telling fortunes. And, and
she's embraced it.
Yeah, well, she's a clairvoyant. And so she soon started really making a name for herself because she was good. And she was known as Knarlsborough's prophetess. And eventually she was so famous, the king himself would send messengers to come hear her prophecies. She became kind of a big deal. And a villain arises here. Yeah, we have a bad guy.
A rapscallion.
Yes. And he was a cardinal. And his name was Cardinal Wolsey. He showed up in one of her prophecies. And he didn't like that very much. She said that while he would see York, he would never set foot in it. And that challenged him. He didn't like that at all. And so he said when he made it to York, he'd build a huge pyre on which to burn her on. So I mean, they had like a feud going. But I assume through letters. I don't know. And
they're beefing.
Yes, they are. There's a so interestingly, Cardinal Wolsey made it to the outskirts of York, where he was arrested.
I was going to say, please tell me he didn't step foot in it.
He was arrested by Henry Percy. He was the 6th Earl of Northumberland. If I said that wrong, it's because my handwriting is bananas. He was arrested for treason. And so he actually died on the way to his trial of illness on November 29th, 1530.
So he never stepped
He never stepped foot in New York.
Oh.
And I could see her being in her cave with like a cup of tea being like...
reading the tea leaves.
Yeah. She has since been compared... she's essentially like the female Nostradamus. Like, I mean, she's good. And I have some of her prophecies in here. Because and there's a lot. And they were actually published. And she predicted their publishing, which was really cool. And they're very feminine. A lot of them were such feminist things, and they're excellent.
Perhaps why we have not heard of her as much.
Yeah, and so she even predicted, the Black Plague, and she wrote "A triumphant death rides through London." She wrote in poetry form, it was really cool.
Was she like, by the way, because y'all were killing black cats?
Yeah, that's just no shit. She predicted the Great Fire that soon followed after that. Oh. And wrote a good bit about the printing press, which kind of involved on her own publication. She's talking about her own writings about them being published. And she said, "This is then held year by year till an iron monster trembling in fear eats parchment, words, and quill and ink, and mankind is given time to think."
Why do I love her so much?
It's beautiful. I know. I love this woman.
Why was that the most beautiful thing I've ever heard?
It is. And she wrote about it a lot and saying these will not reach the world until this printing monster is invented. But she was totally about all rights a feminist, way ahead of her time, 1500s. She wrote often about the greed and pitfalls of men. Okay. And she also touched on the fall of the Catholic Church. Really? And then, some of these are excellent. This one is about, the French Revolution, which was long after this. 3 times shall lovely sunny France be led to play a bloody dance before the people shall be free. 3 tyrant rulers they will see. The different republics under 3 rulers until the revolution. Literally, that one's, not even kind of off. She just wrote...
That's word for word.
Yeah, and this one is my favorite. Okay, I read it and was just yes. For those in wondrous far-off days, the women shall adopt a craze to dress like men and trousers wear and cut off all their locks of hair. They'll ride astride with brazen brow as witches do on broomsticks now. Isn't she great? She's great. I love her to death. And she's so fuck you, I don't give a shit. And I love it. And there's actually a tremendously great legacy with her. So she died in 1561, and she was 73 of just old age.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I was living that long in 1561. And so her cave is actually England's oldest tourist attraction.
Really?
Yes.
Can you still go?
Yes. Oh, and it's actually this really wonderful place. It can still be visited today, has been done since its opening, I guess, in 1630.
God damn.
Yeah. It's supposedly beautifully upkept in a park-like fashion, and I saw pictures and they had what are you called if you're a falconer? You're a falconry, I don't know, they had people who could handle all of the big birds and shit there, and neat, it was very whimsical and just images that I was looking at. And there's a lot of neat activities to do here.
I'm thinking almost like a Renaissance fair vibe.
Well, and it's real pretty. It's like a wooded, you know, and there's like bridges that lead to it.
Because when you said cave, I immediately thought like where Shelob lives.
No, it's like a beautiful riverside area.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And so there's some fun things to do. So there's the wishing well, where the tradition is you dip your hand in the water and make your wish, and take your hand out and let it air dry, and then you don't tell anyone about your wish until it comes true. So that's the wishing well.
Oh.
And there is also a petrifying well. This thing's really, really cool. So
it sounds really terrifying.
It is due to a combination of minerals, just different ones. It turns things to stone over time, and like you can put a teddy bear in there, and in 3 months, it's like calcified. It's like stone.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's just an interesting thing. Her prophecies, like just as kind of like a final thing. Her prophecies were published in 1641.
Right.
Actually, that was 80 years after she died. And since then, like a ton of editions have come out. Some of them are false. So if you do go read her prophecies, which I think you should because they're really great, read into it enough to find the ones that are hoaxes. Because some sites don't know. Like I was reading some that I already knew had been hoaxed, and they were like in her words, you know, that I know she didn't say. But some aren't true, but a lot of them are ones that she wrote. Unfortunately, her grave is lost because while the village never killed her, they didn't let her have a grave. Or like they didn't let her have a funeral. And so basically she was just like tossed in a hole.
Even though she had outlived everybody.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
And so yeah, but she lived an incredibly long life and has this really great legacy. I from what I read, there's a couple of pubs in the area that have her namesake. But yeah, she was just very ahead of her time, and I think very talented. Like, just very interesting woman.
I like to think that she just kind of slipped away in the night in her cave.
Yeah.
You know, it was like the old lady on Titanic.
With some lit candles, you know, and just kind of...
And then, you know...
Maybe like a good stiff toddy.
Yeah.
Like she had like a good warm...
Kind of send her off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somehow, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a nice way that she could just disappear. Not just be thrown in a ditch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a bear came and got
her. Go out in a blaze of glory. But honestly, that sounds like... I mean, she seemed like really flora and fauna, you know? Like, that's how you'd want to go. Just feed the beasts. Right. You know? Like, your spirit's gone. Like, let the body be fodder for the beasts.
That's crazy.
So,
I want to go to this cave.
I do too. Like, I was really looking into it, and I was happy to see how it's like a very loved thing, you know. And so
which is so weird, these places that we love and honor and like keep up, a lot of the times root back to this person who was so ostracized in their time.
Yes, and I love how, you know, from what I read, she didn't have to leave the city. Right. She's just done with all that shit. Like, she probably, you know, fixed up her cave all cozy and was just like, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is good. I don't have to look at these people's fucking faces. So, yeah, that's Mother Shipton. I've been thinking about her a lot lately. I think we could all pull from her some sass and some strength. Interesting story.
I love it.
Yeah, Mother Shipton.
I want to do more like these.
Yeah, I think they're great. I'm a fan of Mother Shipton.
Let's all try to tap in over this next week.
And your inner Mother Shipton.
Yeah, your Mother Shipton. Just be a bad bitch and live in a cave for a
little while. And just say what you think.
Yeah. And if they kick you out of the town, fuck it. Grandma's been writing me. She said that she listens to all of our podcasts.
She does. Yeah.
You know, and she was writing me on Facebook, and we were having a chat, and she told me some really cool things about like the not just the Salem, but a lot of the witch trials and their relation to midwifery.
Yes. Yeah,
I've always
to basically take it away from women
over.
To be a men's medical industry,
and I've always been fascinated by that. And I just she said, "I listen to all your podcasts. I love them so much," and I was like, my first thought was like, "That's so cool." And then my second thought was like, oh, I've said the C word.
Oh, like, she's a modern woman.
So hello out there to Miss Anita. Also, hello to Minnesota, who is our number 2 listener what's been interesting to watch about our growth is it started with like our respective towns that we live in. Yeah. And we could tell who was listening. It was us. It was our family. It was now it's like it's Minnesota. And I felt a little bit bad because I noticed this in our last episode.
I always bring up the fucking Minnesota accent.
You said something about like, oh, you sounded like a Minnesotan. And then we laughed because we were like in the South, anything above the Mason-Dixon line. But it made me I just want to say hi, and I just want to say we're not cracking fun at your accent.
I mean, shit. Everybody makes fun of the Texas accent. You know, it's all in good fun.
Oh, God. Somebody wrote us from the South. I wish I had it on me so I could say. But somebody wrote us, and they said, I grew up in the South. I love listening to you guys, and I love hearing your accent. It makes me feel like home. And I was like, oh, no. We haven't gotten rid of our accent.
Mine used to be, and like when in speaking, I had to get rid of it. Like, full blown. And so really, like, when I'm at work, I don't have one.
Yeah.
And, like, here, like, I let my hair down a little bit and it comes out. And if I'm around my mom...
If I spend time with my mom...
It's full force.
My husband, he's like, for the next 3 days, I am super Texan.
Yes, it happens every time.
But I just think it's funny. We've both worked a lot to try to get rid of our accents.
Mine used to be very thick.
After we've offended everybody in Minnesota.
Yeah, we got a new review.
We sure did.
I'm very excited about the reviews.
Love our iTunes review.
This one was from Bo and Mom 0303, meaning like 0. So she said, these two are amazingly funny and utterly charming. It's like sitting down with a friend. I really enjoy listening to them and have learned a lot.
Charming.
That was nice to read.
That's one we haven't gotten before.
I don't think of myself as charming, so that's good.
I think of myself as brash and abrasive.
I know, so that was, like, nice. It's like, okay.
Thank you so much, Bo and Mama.
So, yeah, thank you for that. Let's keep the reviews coming. We have more coming in, so...
We are so blessed lucky that all of our reviews have been overwhelmingly positive and so sweet. And I'm going to imagine that with our touchy subject today, that may change.
Yeah,
I hope it doesn't. I hope we're all open to have adult conversations. They're
probably going to be like, that dickhead Macy is just like...
She's so basic.
So basic.
She's just that basic witch.
Wallowing in her new age, harebrained ideas. They're not going to say that. No one's going to say that.
No one's saying that. All right, in that vein, we would like to give a shout out to some very special Patreons of ours. These guys keep our show running. Oh, I wish I could remember our jingle. It's the Patreon shout out segment.
Oh, fuck, I forgot that.
I did it so much better the first time.
I don't remember what it was.
I sounded sultry. It's our Patreon shout out segment. And for this time, I would like to say a hello and a thank you to our Patreon, Clever Kim's Curios.
I like that name.
Clever Kim's Curios. They have a wonderful shop on Etsy, and this is not sponsored in any way. I just noticed their name on our Patreon, and I went to check out their shop. Mm-hmm. And if you're into really beautiful and also really creepy works of art, I've spent so much time looking at their stuff. I know it sounds like we're a little bit sponsored right now, but I swear we are not.
We just really appreciate a good local artist. Like, honestly,
Yeah, and we had a good conversation. I had a really good conversation with them just about how important it is. You know, they said, I really wanted to support you guys because I'm a artist. You know, I create. Y'all create.
Fuck yeah. Not only that, you guys are going to help us make this much, much, much better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And we've actually are more than halfway to our first goal. And it's overwhelming to see. Our first goal is to keep this podcast running in the format that you're hearing it as it's been.
Yes.
So with that said, listen here, listen close. Next week.
Look me in the eyes.
Look me in the eyes when I'm talking to you. Next week. Get hype.
Oh, yeah.
Get pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Get excited.
Lay it on me.
We got a spooky ep coming.
Spooky sode.
We have a couple of stories to read.
Yeah.
Macy's going to be talking... What are you talking about? Hit me with it.
I'm going to be talking about some Men in Black.
You know they're going to be knocking on your door soon.
I know.
Telling you to stop researching them.
I know.
Except they won't tell you. They'll probably just kill you.
Or they'll just, I just have to see one and I'm done. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You don't even open the door.
Please leave. I'm sorry.
Get your plastic face out of here.
Yeah, I don't want it. I changed my mind.
I will be talking about the black-eyed children. We each have personal stories we'd like to share, and we have some listener stories, so please tune in. It's going to be a very long episode.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a long one.
It's going to be nice. You know, light up a fire. It's getting chilly out.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Well, it's been lately.
And grab you some snacks.
Yeah.
And get the shit scared out of you.
Spooked!
Get spooked! I am scared to start my deep research.
Me too.
Because I just feel a lot of sleepless nights in my future.
Yeah, I'm not, yes. Yeah.
To be frank, I'm a little more afraid of yours than of mine, because there are ways to ward mine off.
Yeah, no, mine have just do whatever the fuck
yours,
they want.
if they want you, they'll get you.
So,
if Macy disappears, you are all complicit.
Yeah. I may or may not turn into a toddler when I am up past 9:30.
She becomes a pumpkin at about 11 o'clock. So,
yeah.
This has been the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. Is that fast enough? Tell me your bad dream.
It sounds silly now, but like
bad dreams feel a little silly.
In the dream, it was terrifying, and when I woke up, it was terrifying because like it was one of those where you wake up and you're like, oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds so stupid. So I had a dream that a comet was passing us, and it was such a big comet. It was like a mamma jamma that its gravitational pull was stronger than ours, so it took our moon. It just took it. And it was nighttime. It was a full moon. And we were watching our moon just fucking leave. Like,
that's horrifying.
It's so scary. Because I remember thinking of all of the implications of it. I was just like, holy shit. But like in my dream stupor, I was actually like, there's not going to be nighttime anymore. I was like, it's just going to be daytime all the time because the moon brings the night. Like, and so I woke up though like, oh, Jesus Christ, thank God.